Seems no other explanation of what has happened to the thousands of mutilated animals. Once again, a new scientific door is opened, and through it we see invisible animals which can fly by degravitating themselves and which seem to live off the biological energy of other land-bound animals. They may or may not have any connection with the spacecraft UFOs, but it seems they have been mistaken for configurated UFOs with their humanoid crewmen, bound on their separate mission of the study of the Earth's inhabitants by means of kidnappings and sample gathering of Earthman's devices. In the U.S., it is at Federal Aviation Administration flight centers that air traffic controllers are trained to handle the routing of aircraft in the nation's air lanes, so as to keep constant eyes on the safety of flight procedures. But what about the UFO? What about near misses where UFOs and passenger airplanes were involved? These near misses have occurred, and when the pilot takes evasive action, passengers have been injured. This we know to be fact. UFOs are conveniently ignored by all. This is the FAA interpretation. Air traffic controllers are just that, not UFO traffic controllers. UFOs are ignored in the FAA procedures, even though it can now be proven that not only have near misses occurred, but that aircraft have been lost in the powerful energy fields of the UFO. The UFO problem has not as yet been permitted to be properly studied. Truly, is this expensive and complex world air traffic control system really adequate? The evidence now indicates that not only the military, but also the civil bureaus of world governments have been engaged in an incredible and deep cover-up of the real menace of the stepped-up UFO invasion of their target, Earth. The police departments of the world are helpless before the kidnappers of the UFO. This, too, we now know to be fact. How is this nonfeasance possible? This is Joe Harrell. He runs the Flight Control Center near Seattle, Washington. His job is to run it and train air traffic controllers. What we wish to point out now by a question is how extremely expensive governmental bureaucracy is able to ignore an obvious peril to world citizens by simply non-admission of the existence of this mind-boggling problem.
To my knowledge, UFOs are not included in any of the training programs. We would, of course, provide instructions to our supervisors on how to handle reports of UFOs, but it is not included in the training of a controller.
So I suppose the only way in which it would be included would be and I assume you admonish these people to be aware of any unusual circumstance.
That's right, and make the pilots aware of what they're aware of, and to this extent it would be included, but as for specific procedures, no.
After $60-odd billion spent for manned spaceflight by NASA, it has been determined that man is truly confined to this Earth. The incredible secret concealed from the tax-paying public by both NASA and its congressional masters is that man cannot participate in long space expeditions. NASA has scientifically verified and kept very quiet the fact that the unstoppable cosmic rays to which every astronaut has been exposed destroys brain cells at the rate of 1% every 4 months. Since the neurons of the adult human brain do not reproduce, a space expedition represents irreparable brain damage and would reduce the crew to idiots in even the 8 years it would take to go to the nearest sun and return. NASA claims that the 13% loss of neurons would equal the brain damage sustained by an alcoholic, but NASA does not allow for increased intensity of cosmic ray bombardment as the astronaut moves in space. NASA must now admit that man cannot travel far in space because of significant brain damage which he will undergo. The main building of a graduate university of advanced study in Switzerland near Basel is Das Gotienum, acclaimed by architectural students and professional architects as being a space shape of striking originality. Das Gotienum was founded in the early 1900s by Dr. Rudolf Steiner, whose philosophy of science deals with the influence of alien cosmic intelligences on the human mind. Dr. Steiner was a highly trained scientist and clairvoyant who could see to a higher etheric energy dimension. He could see a view of cosmic reality which is denied to normal human vision. In some 6,000 lectures attended by the best minds of Europe, he made his observations known to those who would profit from this higher knowledge. This information is now available.
Knowledge, the key to the secrets of the universe. Man's pursuit of the mystery surrounding the UFO and the Etherians continues. And although many books have been written about the subject, the best available information is speculation. So what we have offered you is the best available speculation. 2 questions. First, who are the Etherians? Notwithstanding their similarity to man, the Etherians' body is different from man's. They live in their own dimension, so we see only their servants, the humanoids. The Etherian overlords of the UFO have thinking minds, feelings, and emotions like we do. They have a strong sense of will and a strong sense of purpose. And they live in their own dimension, so they can't set foot in our material world, according to Dr. Steiner. Next, why are they here? Why are they interested in Earth humans? Maybe we are doing something here on Earth that is disturbing their world, their dimension. Maybe we are doing something here on Earth that is upsetting the balance of the universe. UFOs have been seen for centuries. Is this recent stepped-up activity over the last 30 years due to some recent disturbances within our dimension? Maybe we have sent giant shock waves throughout the universe, and the Etherians are here on Earth, trying to find out what they can do about this intrusion. One thing could well be the high harmonics of the sonic boom of the supersonic bomber, such as the B-1. An interdimensional space quake could have sent shock waves into their dimension. And of course, atomic devices could be another element that is disturbing beings in other dimensions. But the Etherians seem to be sampling our dimension by human kidnappings and the taking of animals and the taking of sophisticated electronic devices made by our Earthman scientists. The Etherians seem to want to know what we are doing, and we had better know too. Think about what we are doing to ourselves, because it could have a profound effect on beings in other dimensions. And this whole question about UFOs could be a much larger question than devices simply flying around in our airspace. We will meet the Etherians, the overlords of the UFO, when we are worthy.